course, if you watched my last video, you'd remember in the last video, of course, was titled X-Men and Evolution. You notice I mentioned that I was going to make a video on certain books that I recommend that you should read about evolution. Help you understand it a little better. And of course, this is not exhaustive. There are some other books, but this is just the ones that I'm going to recommend that I know of. They're much better ones than, well, no, I won't say much better, but there are a lot of others also. And before I start, of course, please check out the description for free to watch. Check out my description and check out my website, which is in the description, for free to watch. Any of my other videos, for free to like, subscribe, for free to leave a comment. Of course, I don't read the comments, but you know, you can do that. And let's go ahead and start. Let's start here. Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism by Aaron Ra. I highly recommend this book because he goes in depth. I mean, very good. And he has a good sense of humor and destroying every argument of creationists. Also, go to his channel, which is also Aaron Ra, and you can see these in video form too. Of course, the book has a lot more information. Why Evolution is True by Jerry Cohn. Of course, if you want to have fun, you can go online and type the rebuttal. There's some guy that actually thinks he's going to be able to match wits with Jerry Cohn. I apologize for mispronouncing your name. I don't mean it as a microaggression or anything. It's a very good book on evolution and about other things, but basically it's evolution. He explains it very good. Then, of course, you have none other than Richard Dawkins, the greatest show on earth. I highly recommend this. The two books that I would tell you to definitely read would be The Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism and Richard Dawkins, The Greatest Show on Earth. Also, of course, Charles Darwin, Descent on the Origin of the Species, and Descent of Men. Descent of Men, I'm sorry. It's hard to see the title on that one, but that's what it is. And of course, you got Richard Dawkins, The Extended Phenotype, The Blind Watchmaker, The Selfish Gene, and another very, very good one, The Ancestor's Tale, which, you know, is very good. He takes it like, if you ever read Chaucer's book, he gives you these traveler's tales. Very good book. I say read that one too. It has nothing to do with evolution, but it's a very good book. But anyways, Ancestor's Tale is a very good book. I highly recommend it. And of course, definitely recommend Charles Darwin. You want to read his On the Origin of the Species, because people misquote, creationists will misquote this book. So if you have this and you're reading it yourself, you'll see their misquotes, and the same with The Descent of Man. I hope you can see the title. Unfortunately, it seems like it might be difficult to get every single chapter. I'm sorry, that was the book. That was not me. And then Undeniable by Bill Nye. Then there's another guy, Douglas Axe, tries to write a book. He also entitled Undeniable, for free to read it, but it's a creationist book, and he makes a very weak attempt attacking creationism. He has a PhD, and he tries to use, and does what most creationists do, you know. Oh, the chances of this happening is 1 out of 1 to 140th power and all this nonsense. How do they know? They don't know that. What are they basing that on? But anyways, that's not what this is about. I'm giving you just some, you know, ideas of what I believe books you should read. You know, we'll mention it again. Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism by Aaron Ra. Why Evolution is True by Jerry Coyne. Richard Dawkins, The Selfish Gene. Richard Dawkins, The Ancestor's Tale. Climbing Mount Improbable. Richard Dawkins, The Greatest Show on Earth. Richard Dawkins, The Extended Phenotype. Richard Dawkins, The Blind Watchmaker. And then why the evidence of evolution reveals a universe without design. That's basically what it is. And then Charles Darwin on the Origin of Species, and Charles Darwin, Descent of Man, and of course Bill Nye, Undeniable. And I've had somebody respond to another video about this guy. They say, he's not a real scientist. He's just a TV figure. please look him up, and also you can probably read more on him. He's actually an engineer. He worked for Boeing. He took astronomy with Carl Sagan, so I think he can be classified as, you know, having enough knowledge in science, especially being an engineer and astronomy, learning astronomy by Carl Sagan. And it's not like you can't just read, but you don't have to have a college education anyway. I mean, he has a college education, but you don't need a college education to understand this stuff. If you're just reading these books, and now I'm going to give you a hint, okay? If you absolutely do not have a background in science, you find the material hard, do this. Please do this. I highly recommend you do it. Go chapter by chapter. Do the first chapter, outline it, you know, do bullets and everything. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that tell you how to outline chapters and make it easy to learn. And you just do that with each of these books, and you'll be surprised how quickly you learn. You ever listen to people like, you know, Aaron Ra and wonder how he knows so much? How do you think guys like him learn so much? You know? You hear him also, Sam Harris. No, I'm sorry. No, Sam Harris is very intelligent. Please don't think I'm trying to say he's not. But Christopher Hitchens, you know, it's like, wow, he's very quick. You know, he knows a lot. Well, of course, because he's read a lot. And I'm sure he knows how to read these books. Just picking up the book and just reading it casually, you're not going to really get much. Actually, actively read to understand this stuff. Please. As I said, feel free to like, subscribe, feel free to watch any of my other videos, you know. Leave a comment. I won't be reading a comment, but leave a comment. Please check out my description and check out my website. Thanks.